Afternoon. At this time, we determined there is a quorum to be called and that we welcome you to the Pender County Board of Education, our December 12th meeting. And so we are going to ask our group, we have a special group out front, and if they want to come on in, if you'll let them know. If everyone to stand, they're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
There's no flag.
It's right here.
Ready?
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. Oh no.
At this time, if you'll bow our heads, we'll have our invocation. Dear God, grant us wisdom in the days to come, safety for travel for those that will be on the road during this Christmas season. Let us always remember exactly the purpose of Pender County Schools and why we're here tonight. Amen. Amen. You may be seated, and they're going to lead us a song for us.
Walking through the halls with my pencil and my book, to my class I go. When I stop to take a look, there's something fun outside. I want to go and play. That's when I spot some furry friends following me on her way. Hey, thoughtfulness, obedience, friends are side by side. Respectful, eager, tidy, I'm an otter with some pride. Thoughtfulness, obedience, friends are side by side. Respectful, eager, tidy, I'm an otter with some pride. What fun it is to grow and learn with my friends all by my side.
One of the things we try to do is get our different schools to participate, and I was so excited when this school, Pila, and their principal volunteered for this month. If you don't mind, will you introduce yourself, your school, and those here, and then we'll have a group picture.
Okay, we're gonna start. I'm Mrs. Braun. I'm the principal at Pila. I have several of my students here. I have Henry, and then I have Kymel, and I have Tavon, and I have Jay, and I have Josiah on the end, and my little bitty friend is Ada. I have several of my teachers and my staff with me. I have Miss Futrell, I have Miss Beveridge, I have Miss Justice, I have Miss Moore, I have Miss Cox. Down in the floor we have Miss Mintz, and I have a counselor. He's hiding. Where did get in here, you sneaker? Mr. Locklear is our counselor, and he has just joined us in the last couple months.
Well, come on up here.
Come on.
Be with us. We're gonna. Is it all right if we take a picture? Can we take? Can we?
Yes.
Guys, come on, let's take a picture with her. It says since you're riding, you're going to say special.
Here we go. They're going to take it.
Just a quick picture, guys. Y'all were not here. We got to see your face. Y'all were celebrities.
All right.
No, you're fine.
Are you? All right.
1, 2, 3, cheese.
Otter. All right.
Thank you.
Let's give him a hand, guys. If you guys want to come back, we've got one order of business before we do our other recognition. We'll give our group. That's about the highlight of all our meetings in the last few months. That was one thing that we started incorporating in as our students taking part in the beginning opening sessions. And I know the parents have reached out. Many of them have said how much that means to those students. And so it does mean a lot. That's something they'll probably remember a lot longer than what we'll even realize. And so thank you for allowing them to come and participate. And what a joy. We got some wonderful students in Pender County. At this time, if we have, is there any changes to the agenda before we have a motion to accept the agenda as presented? Not hearing any, then can I have a motion for the adoption of the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Hall has made a motion to adopt the agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. At this time, then, any discussion? Not hearing any. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Motion carries. At this time, then, the chair will turn over the meeting to our attorney, excuse me, I apologize, you just got a pay raise then, didn't you? We'll turn the meeting over to our superintendent, Dr. Brad Breedlove, for the election of officers.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. I'm Brad Breedlove, Superintendent of Pender County Schools. Momentarily, the board will begin its organizational meeting to determine the next board chair and vice chair. I would like to note that quorum has been established and that 5 board members are present. On behalf of Pender County Schools, we look forward to working with the entire board for the benefit of our students, staff, and community. While the board chair presides over the board meetings, we do not have one yet. According to Board Policy 2200, if necessary at any meeting to elect officers, I, as the superintendent, will serve as the chair of the board for the purpose of electing the chair. Once the board chair has been elected, that individual will preside over the election of the vice chair and then will proceed to preside over this meeting. According to the Board Policy 2342, voting methods before the board may vote on any matter, there must be a motion and a second motion. With that said, I open the floor to nominations for the office of board chair.
I make a motion to nominate Mr. Hall as chair.
I hear a motion for Mr. Hall as board chair by Mr. Gudero. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I hear a second.
Do we have to have a second for voting on officers? Voting board members?
Not on nomination purposes.
Not on nominations.
Okay.
I'm
But-
sorry.
You would just ask, is there any other nominations?
Is there another nomination? Hearing, are there any more nominations for board chair? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to close the nominations of board chair.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of the nominations will indicate by saying aye. Those opposed will say no. Nominations are closed. All those in favor of Don Hall as board chair indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed indicate saying no. Congratulations, Mr. Hall. You are the board chair. I now hand over the running of the meeting to you to induct the election of the vice chair.
All right, we'll open the floor for nominations for vice chair. So this does not require a second, is that correct?
That's correct.
Only the approval, okay. All right, we'll open the floor for nominations for vice chair then. All right, I nominate Ms. Burns. Have any additional?
I'll nominate Mr. Springer.
All right, any additional? All right, all those in favor of Ms. Burns, say aye.
Do we need to make a motion to close nominations?
Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you.
you do.
Yeah, we have a motion to close nominations.
So moved.
All right, we have a second.
Second.
All right, Mr. Springer seconds. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All right, all in favor of Ms. Burns, say aye.
Aye.
All right, 3. All in favor of Mr. Springer,
Aye.
3-2. All right, Ms. Burns. Thank you. All right, I think that's it with nominations. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I think we now move on to recognitions.
All right, recognitions. Who's,
So this evening, we'll start the recognitions by bringing up Melody McCready, who's our Director of the Exceptional Children's Programs. And Ms. McCready is going to recognize someone that is being recognized for being recognized at a state level. So we want to do this at a local level as well.
This is Rebecca Barris. Rebecca Barris was chosen as Pender County Schools Educator of Excellence for North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, Exceptional Children's Department. And I'm going to read just a portion of the nomination that came in for Ms. Barris. We had a lot of positive things that were written and submitted to us about her, so I just had to choose part of them. Ms. Barris is always available to give advice and problem solve with not only her school team, but with other schools as well. She ensures all students are included with their general education peers to the maximum extent possible. She's helped other teachers in the district to manage all of the timelines and paperwork that come with the job. She presented to our entire EC staff at boot camp in August. She always goes above and beyond the call of duty in pursuing excellence and doing what is best for students. She even worked over the summer, this past summer, to hold IEP team meetings and help us get caught up with some paperwork. She takes the initiative to streamline processes and improve programming for students. Pender County Schools is extremely fortunate to have Ms. Barris as an EC teacher. Thank you for all you have done for our exceptional students.
And now we get to have our holiday fun that we do each and every year. So each year, we ask for art to be presented for the annual Pender County Schools holiday cards. And so this year, we have 7 different cards that have been selected for the artwork this year, which in my little time that I've been here, that's the most we've had. You can see the artwork up here right now, but we'll bring the individuals up. So I'd like to have the art teachers and the principals from the schools to come forward. So we're going to let the art teachers introduce your students. and talk a little bit about the arts, and then we'll present the certificate. And I actually have their artwork framed for them to give them. So we can work down the line if you'd like. You can, so, you can introduce your student, and then they can come up, and then we'll talk about the artwork.
Okay, lovely. All right, so I'm Jessica Barker. I'm the art teacher at North Topsail Elementary, and Collins Pearson. Do you want to come on up? She drew this beautiful piece right here, the nativity scene, and we were just super thankful that it was chosen. She did a great job.
I'm Ashley Rideau. I'm the art teacher at Surf City Middle School. We had 2 artists that were selected this year. I don't see Ava. Hers was the deer at the bottom, reindeer with snow, the colored pencil drawing. She is a current 7th grader and very, very talented. And our student that's here tonight is Miss Etta, and she is in 8th grade. Etta is very talented. I was actually over at the high school yesterday talking to the art teachers over there about her and a couple other students. She did a watercolor with acrylic and ink detailing. And
I'm Dave Thiel. I'm the art teacher at Bergall Middle School, and our student who's here today is Claire. She's back there. She made the nice holiday card with the snow globe on it. She's super creative, works really hard, and you can tell she worked really hard on her holiday card.
I think your certificate maybe stuck to someone else's. But we'll get one to you.
I'm the art teacher at Topsail Annandale Elementary School. I don't see my student, Miss Naraya, but she was the one with the Christmas trees in the bottom left. And I was just really proud of her. She's a 3rd grade student at our school. And it was just done in all marker. Nice to meet you.
I'm Holly Harrison, and I'm here with Ava Howe. I'm the STEAM teacher at my school. I'm not just art. STEAM, we have science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And I'm happy to introduce Ava. This is our 2nd year with a 3rd grader moving forward, so we're super proud of her. She worked really hard, and as you can see, she has a lovely Christmas ornament. And she used crayons and colored pencils, and just worked really hard on hers, and she's a upcoming future artist, I do believe.
I'm Anna Boggs. I'm the art teacher at Malthus Corner Elementary. My student is Auralia Garcia Lopez, and she created the one at the top, black and white with the snow angel. Everything she does is amazing. She's a 5th grader. Congratulations.
So the artwork that's on these cards is what the school system sends out. So these will be going out to various schools around the state of North Carolina tomorrow, various places around Pender County. So literally the children are providing that for us to celebrate this year. So kids, I'm going to get you all together and take a picture of you. Let me get all the students together. And yeah, let's hold your artwork out so we can see it. Parents, I'm going to, if you want to come up, you're welcome to. And I will share the pictures I have with your schools. All right, group hug, everyone in. I can see everybody's face. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank y'all. Yeah, so I actually have a bunch from Facebook. Set this one up for you. Yeah.
And while they're going out, if I can say this, Mr. Chairman, what's so amazing about the selection of these cards is that the committee, we had no clue what school, we had no clue the age, or it was just presented to us, and so it was chosen. And so I was excited about that to see just how they were selected. So I think they've all done a wonderful job. Thank you.
All right, we're down to public comment, and I think we had at least one sign up. You have the sheet?
Yeah, that's Mr. Michael Beck from Hampstead.
Okay. Do you have any call-ins at all?
No call-ins. Mr. Beck's the only one.
Yeah.
Mr.
And I need the statement. Who's got the, yeah. All right, is Mr. Beck here? All right, let me read this statement real quick before you come, and I don't have it. The Pender County Board of Education welcomes comments from our parents, students, and the community. The public comment period is open for members of the public, including parents and students, to voice compliments, concerns, or complaints about the performance of school personnel, implementation of board policy, the quality of the education program, or school facilities. Each person is granted 3 minutes for his or her presentation. The portion of the meeting is for the board to hear matters of interest from the public. However, obscene, vulgar, or profane statements and statements reasonably perceived to be disruptive or imminently threatening to the orderly operation of the meeting shall not be permitted. All right, you can come on up.
Congratulations, Mr. Hall and Mrs. Burns. During the September CPAC meeting, we were told that EC Pre-K would be going to 5 days a week after 9 weeks of school, which would have been October 30th. During the October CPAC meeting, we were told that the program would be going to 5 days in January. We kept asking about it, and about 2 weeks later, we were told that the option of 5 days a week is only for the children who had a 5-day week prior to this year. We were also told that before any changes were made regarding a fifth day, the board would be consulted on how to proceed. Yesterday, we received an email stating there will be an IEP meeting scheduled only for students that meet one of 2 criteria. The criteria being attended 5 days last year, or 2, qualified in all 5 areas of developmental delay. An IEP meeting would be set for only one of my sons to determine if a 5th day will be added since he qualified in all 5 areas of delay. Our other son will not be getting a meeting because he did not qualify in all 5 areas. We were told he is showing improvement, and that is a good thing because he can spend more time with mom and dad. If he is showing improvement, wouldn't going an extra day help him improve even more and build on what he has achieved? The school day has already been cut from 6 hours a day to 3 hours a day. This is an opportunity for all of the EC children to get an extra 3 hours a week to help them thrive and succeed. Back to the answer given, it's a good thing that he's making progress. He doesn't need the extra day, and you get to spend more time with him. To us, that says, well, what we're doing is good enough. Let's not give any extra. My wife and I do not look at school as daycare. We know that school is what our boys need to be successful in life, and it starts now. Every study shows early education is the key to success. In every CPAC meeting, the question, why can't the EC program get it right, has been brought up by parent after parent. The opportunity starts now. Think about this anecdote. A special needs parent falls in a hole. The doctor yells into the hole, "Can you keep a journal of your experiences in the hole?" The county comes and says, "We'll assess the size of the hole, but it could take 18 months. The fire department comes and says, "We don't have enough money for a ladder that big to get you out." The state says, "Here's a form. Fill it in to apply to get on the list for your ladder." Another special needs parent says, "I'm coming down there with you so you don't have to be alone until it gets figured out." I am an advocate. I am the expert when it comes to my children. I am a warrior. My kids are warriors. I will always put my family first. I will spread awareness and will survive on very little sleep. I will never accept defeat. 3 minutes at a time. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. I'll see you in the new year.
Thank you. All right, the information agenda.
Mr. Chair, I have a point of order.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to amend the agenda, make a motion to amend the agenda to add item 10.6, electrical buses.
10.6. All right, is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stringer seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. All opposed?
Aye.
I would like to ask more information if I could.
Okay.
Mr. Cordero, is this new information that we're going to be hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, a decision's already been made, so my vote's no.
Okay, I'm gonna vote yes to add it. So that will be 10.6, I think is what we said.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, 8.1, calendar committee update. Mr. Taylor.
Good evening, board members. Just wanted to update you on the process for the two-year calendar approval process, 24, 25, and 25, 26 respectively. Everything is in the executive summary for you. But starting on Thursday this week, the calendars for both drafts, and we do have drafts for calendars that have a high school exam starting before Christmas break or the holiday break, and also exams starting after the holiday break. They will be given to the principals to share with their school improvement teams as of December 14th, which is our district meeting. After December 15th through January 5th, the SIT team will review options, including parental, getting feedback from the parents on the committee. And from January 5th through the 26th, the school improvement teams will submit their votes for calendar options based on feedback received. Presentation to the board, either in committee or on the committee of the whole, if that's the direction the board takes tonight, on January 30th, with the idea to have the calendars for approval on February 13th board meeting. So I wanted to give you guys a timeline and also give the public a timeline of where we were. We have had some questions regarding these calendars and the timeline to get them out. Any questions?
Have we included staff on this calendar?
Yes.
Staff's input?
Yes, that's what's going to take place.
Okay.
After the calendars are submitted to the principals, they will take them back to their schools for staff and school improvement team input.
I'm not talking about the SIT committee, Kevin, or you're not talking about that either, right?
I'm talking about both.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yep, that's all I had.
This is for the 24, 25 school year, is that right?
This will be for 24, 25, and 25, 26.
Okay.
Our vision is to have two calendars approved, so that we're working on the 2 years out from this point forward.
Good.
so that there'll be no questions, planning this time of year for a vacation. They'll already have the calendar out there.
Are there the parents on the sit? There are, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Any further questions?
Last question.
Oh, you're fine.
Are there any parental engagement efforts, like a poll or anything like that? Just curious.
There
Have we considered that, or-
there typically have been. There would be school-level polls.
Okay.
I don't know if Fallon is here. If you want to come up and speak to that. We have done it several different ways.
Can you repeat the question for me?
Sure. The question was generally just about parental engagement with regard to the development of the calendar. So are we going to do like a poll or a survey, or in what ways are we engaging the parents to get their
So in the
feedback?
past, we have sent out a Google form district-wide for them to submit their suggestions and comments.
And that data will be presented to the board in some way with the final recommendations?
Correct, either a
I'm assuming.
calendar
Okay.
committee or a board.
Thank you very much. That answered my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Fallon. Anything else? Very good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 8.2, budget calendar, Ms. Nallen.
Good afternoon. You will see in your packet was included the budget calendar, the proposed budget calendar for next fiscal year, 24-25. Anyone have any questions regarding the calendar?
No questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And 8.3, student attendance update.
Yes, Board, in your packet, we do have an attendance update. Since the beginning of the year, Pender County Schools has been stressing the importance of attendance for our students, for our staff. This year, it goes without saying the importance of students coming to school each and every day, not being absent, in the overall success of not only the individual student, but our school system as a whole. In your packet on 8.3, what you see is a chart. And before I get into the chart, I do want to say, though, that prior to 2020, the average daily attendance at our school was nearly 95%. And you can see here that in 2021 and 2022 school year, it was at 91.1%. And then in 2023, the 2022-23 school year, it was 92.6%, so slightly up. Still not near the 95% mark. And so what I wanted to show is our efforts at increasing the overall daily student attendance rate, and speak about some of the measures that we are putting in place. So far this year, we have worked with our schools on daily and weekly monitoring of student attendance. We've created early interventions for students showing the potential of being chronically absent, marketing the importance of attendance every day, displaying the daily attendance rate at our schools as car riders drive up. What is the attendance rate? If you walk down the hallway, we have bulletin boards with the attendance rate that day, and then what the goal is. Remember, our goal is getting at or above 95% would be a goal for Pender County Schools. We started the Judicial Advisory Committee for students and families with chronic absences, trying to be proactive in helping to support those families and ensuring that our children are at school each and every day. Every minute of every day counts. We've started rewarding and incentivizing students with perfect attendance. And also, schools are focusing on attendance as part of their school improvement planning. At this point, as you can see in the chart, what we've put on here is September, October, and November. We don't have enough data right now in December until the end of the month. That's when that data will run. So we've got 3 months of data. You can see the 2022-23 school year data, versus the 23-24. And in most cases, what you're going to see almost in every month is it's slightly up. What does that mean? It means that some of these measures are working, but we're not there yet. We've got to keep moving towards that 95% mark, keep stressing it in our schools, stressing it in social media, making sure that parents know when their children are absent, having those conversations. Sometimes those are tough conversations. That's what we do. We need, our schools are open for business, and we need to make sure that our students are attending school each and every day that they are able. So at this point, are there any questions about our overall attendance data?
How many judicial advisory committee meetings have been held thus far?
We've had one, last year, over the summer and in the fall, we put it together, had our meetings of what should happen during those meetings, but at this point, we've had one with one parent.
Do we anticipate more coming?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't have anything else.
Oh, you have?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next item is the consent agenda, which is items 9.1 through 9.14. Do we have a motion for approval of the entire consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, Mr. Springer has made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Burns has a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
All right, motion carries with one against. All right, action agenda. Item 10.1 is the pre-K Head Start grant.
Good evening, Board. Today, we're requesting the board approval for the 5th year of the Head Start grant that has been updated for year 5. This was a 5-year grant, and Ms. Poulin is here if you have any questions concerning the Head Start grant.
Anyone have any questions?
None.
All right, thank you.
Make a motion that we approve the pre-K Head Start grant.
All right,
Second.
Mr. Smith has made a motion. We have a second?
Yes, sir.
All right, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
10.2, Cape Fear Community College and Pender County Schools Partnership Agreement.
Thank you. So we're requesting board approval pending the lawyer review of the CFCC PCS partnership agreement. The purpose of this agreement is due to the direction of the North Carolina Board of Education in compliance with policy that states that in order for us to have college and career promise, which is dual enrollment in our high schools for our students, we have to have an agreement with a local community college. We do have an agreement with a local community college for our early college. So this is kind of above and beyond the early college that allows students that are at a high school and not at the early college to be able to enroll in dual enrollment, even though they already have been doing it. So it is just it's a new agreement. But basically it's to ensure that all parties adhere to the College and Career Promise guidelines, outlining those procedures and responsibilities of both CFCC and Pender County Schools.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve 10.2?
Motion.
Mr. Cordero has made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Springer has made a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
10.3, Mr. Taylor, design build K through 8 installment approval.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. This is the first installment request from the design build team regarding the design build pre-con contract that had been signed. The first installment's $179,940. This is to be paid from the Pender County General Fund, but it requires your approval prior to us submitting for disbursement.
All right, have any questions for Mr. Taylor?
Have we made all the requisite resolutions, et cetera, to ensure that these funds are reimbursable by the proceeds of the bonds? Okay. Thank you very much.
These would be, yes, sir.
All right.
That's all I
Any
have, sir.
questions? All right, have a motion for approval.
Second.
Motion.
Oh, sorry.
And this is pending legal review, right, Brent? Did I hear that part? Previous, okay, that's right, sorry. All right. Who made the motion? Was that? Do we have a?
Well, I think we both made it at the same
Yeah.
time. Mr. Springer and I made it at the same time. I'll second, Mr.
All right. Mr. Springer has the motion, Ms. Burns has the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
The second item is the second task list for owner-required expenses regarding leading up to the design-build process. The second level of TIA, the second level of geotechnical evaluations, and et cetera. You can see the line-by-line application provided to us by Mosley Architects and Bordeaux. You will also recognize that there was no 5% markup as we had requested from the administrative fees on this second additional task list. The recommendation is for approval of $167,144.25, and it should be fund source 4, capital outlay.
All right, we'll have any questions for Mr. Taylor?
This for soils testing, is that what he's doing?
Sir?
Soils testing, is that what he's doing?
Additional, the next level of geotechnicals, yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, we have a motion for approval.
Make a motion to approve the additional services.
All right, Mr. Springer has made a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
Mr. Cordero is seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. And 10.5, school calendar considerations.
Thank you, Board. This was added by request from the board. So willing to take any questions or anything that you guys have for us.
The request is mine, Mr. Chair, if I may. Just wanted to, the board has discussed at several points the possibility of a calendar that aligns more closely with the community college system and may start a little bit earlier than is recommended by the state. There's about 20 school districts that already do that. And so I would make a motion that we direct staff to bring us a proposal that would do that. Not necessarily that that's going to be the calendar, but just so we could look at that alongside something that would, be more traditional, so we can weigh the options for ourselves and decide whether we want to deviate from the state standard or whether, follow those 20 schools or whether we want to just go the traditional route. I think having the information in front of us would be helpful. So that would be my motion.
And just to be clear, are we talking about compliance with the school calendar law or outside of the school calendar law?
So the
As a
motion,
proposal, to think
it
creatively.
would be outside the school calendar law.
Okay, just want to make sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is it possible to go outside of the law that they set?
There are already 20 school districts doing it.
Yeah, that's what I
Well,
mean.
have there
without-
been any repercussions to those school
No.
districts
And
yet?
correct
for
me if I'm
doing
wrong.
this?
There have been repercussions. How substantial those repercussions, I will find out and research for the board and have a better understanding before we come back. But I knew that DPI and the General Assembly have both, put their ire upon it. What that exactly means, I can't tell you, but I will tell you that, as you may know, the House is very supportive of calendar flexibility while the Senate is not. And that has been historic and has been the reason that the calendar law hasn't changed for the past 15 years. Past 10 years, sorry.
All right.
And to be clear, the motion is only to ask staff to look into it, not to change anything, but just to have the information available.
Okay. You would want it brought back as an information item or even an action item?
I would say it makes sense to bring that information whenever the calendar committee would bring its recommendations. If we could maybe just include an option that would align more with interests of the school system independent of the requirement in the school calendar law.
Once the calendar is developed, we would also share that with our principals to be able to give input back on that calendar as well.
So I'm hearing right, this would allow more input from our own people as aside from a dictator 150 miles away.
Right, yes. And the reason for me making the motion now is because that's on the, the calendar committee was on the agenda, and I think it would make sense as the committees are doing their work in this area to also consider that option if we are open to it.
Okay.
Tying your shoestrings up.
All right.
Okay.
So you did that in the form of a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Springer is seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed?
Aye.
All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
And 10.6, electric buses.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to, point of parliamentary procedure really quick. In review of Board Policy 2330, when you amend the agenda after it has been passed, it requires a 2/3 vote to amend it after the fact. So once the initial, and I'll read that portion for the board's edification really quick. But
We had a tie and I broke it, so how would that come out?
well, the 2/3 is .666.
So that means that we can't add it at this time?
Not without a fourth vote, no, sir.
Okay, well, we'll,
Now, you can always revote right now if you choose to, but I just wanted to bring that point to
it
your
would be the
attention.
same rules, a 2/3.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well,
I'll make a motion that we suspend that rule for the purposes of this discussion.
Okay. All right.
Second.
all right, I have a second. You have a comment?
There's a
Well,
motion.
instead of making this an action item, would it be prudent to possibly go back and make it an information item?
That was not my motion. No, ma'am.
Call a question.
Okay.
All right, so the motion on the floor is to suspend policy 2330, board meeting agenda.
There's a question on the floor, so we take a vote.
So without, so this vote is to suspend the policy so that we can proceed without a 2/3 vote,
Just for this discussion.
Yes.
just for this one item.
Yes, sir. That was my motion.
So this is another tie. I want to have this discussion, but we've never suspended for this before that I can remember. So if I vote no, I guess we'll take this up at our next meeting as an agenda item, which would come under the regular approval of the agenda, right?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
2 points, Mr. Chair. One is that we have not voted yet on this particular item that has a motion, and the second that's currently listed, so it is not a tie just yet. And the second is that I would just encourage you, just because something has not been done in the past based on policy changes, that do not allow that to influence you on your particular vote based on something not being done in the past.
All right, then I vote yes that we suspend the policy.
Okay, well, I think you have to do the ayes and noes for everybody really quick.
All right, let's start over.
I'll make a motion that we suspend just for the purpose of this
All right, Mr.
discussion, sir.
Cordero has
Yes,
made
sir.
the motion.
Okay.
Second.
Mr. Springer is seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, all opposed?
Aye.
All right, I break the ties, yes.
Okay. All right, so now, Mr. Chair, you move on to 10.6, your electrical buses.
All right, so we'll go back to 10.6. And Mr. Cordero?
Mr. Taylor, would you mind if I just have a couple questions? Thank you.
There was some new information,
Right.
right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Can you remind us of the route that these buses are going to be servicing?
There'll be 3 Penderly routes that have been selected for the EV bus.
How long is the longest route?
Sir, I don't have that information with me. I mean, this decision was made back sometime, and that type of information.
Okay, it's okay. Just
I'll be
say-
glad to get it to you.
Okay. By my calculations, about 25 miles. So does that sound about reasonable?
Again, I can't answer that question without my data.
Okay. My concern is I was looking at the route, and I was looking at the range of these buses. And the purported range under ideal conditions for these buses is going to be about 100 miles.
Correct.
And so if the conditions are not ideal, we have a circumstance where the bus, if it's going to drive 25 miles one way and it's going to do a double route for another 25 miles, it'll be 50 miles in the morning and 50 miles in the afternoon, that basically is in danger of exceeding its maximum range. So that's the new information I'd like to present. So given that, I'd like to make a motion that we suspend participation in the electric bus program and direct staff to do a further analysis to ensure that the range is going to be sufficient to service the area.
And would you want that revisited soon?
I would say that staff should bring us the data no later than our next meeting, but that we suspend participation immediately, and it would take an affirmative action by this board to reinstate the program.
And is that doable for y'all to get that for our next meeting?
I'm sure we can get it, yes, sir. However, there are a lot of things in motion right now, along with due progresses, installation, ordering of the equipment that's already taken place, as well as the site visits that have taken place. The buses are on order, expected to be delivered in June, I think was the date that we were most recently given. So there are a lot of things in motion for this. I will also say that historically, we do not double route Penderly routes because they are so long. It's not like a Topsail-Annandale, North Topsail, South Topsail route where a route is probably 15, 20 minutes long. But I'll be glad to get anything for the board that I'm asked of.
Just to respond to Mr. Taylor's comments, I understand what you're saying. My planning factors are always worst case scenario, not the alternative.
And I understand that.
I'm sort of confused, Mr. Cordero, that you said in your motion that this was new information. I don't think that, for us to vote on that, how is this new whenever we know what routes are? I mean, have they changed? I mean, what have they changed then on the routes? What have they changed on mileage that wasn't what we had originally talked about? I'm just didn't know if they've changed the mapping over at Penderly or just what's happened to be new.
It's a great question. I think it was mainly the fact that these data were not specifically given to the board as far as the number of miles that a bus is expected to travel under ideal and non-ideal conditions, and then also the number of miles that are necessary to fulfill a double route for that route. Those data were never presented to the board, so that's why they're not hasn't changed. It's just they were never previously presented, and so I had to kind of figure it out myself. And concerned after
I don't know the exact day or time, but I do believe that when they came in with the presentation, all of that information when it comes about how far the bus can go and the charge time capacity, I think that was presented, but that's under my recollection.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that those data points were added because Mr. Springer brought up, what if you have a power outage at night? And our response was there would still be enough, even if the bus wasn't charged overnight, to run the morning route, then be charged during the school day.
You just told me that you didn't have the data. Now you're saying that you know that it has enough even if there's a power outage?
I'm giving you generic data. You're asking me for specific data. Those are two different aspects.
Well, I just want to be clear about.
So if you want specific data regarding mileage, I'll be glad to get that to you. I don't have it recalled, but I do remember Mr. Springer asking a question. If there was a power outage due to a storm in the middle of the night, what happens when you show up and the bus isn't charged?
And it would be
I do
kind
remember that.
Since this is something that's just been added on at last minute, I think it'd be kind of unfair to staff to put them under a microscope when they've not been told adequately ahead of time to bring whatever information, so that way we can make a educated vote, because I know that we've got very competent people. So I hate for them to have to stand up here and what ifs or could be type scenarios.
I agree. That's why, as part of my motion, I asked staff to bring it at the next meeting.
And I'll do that, yes, sir.
Sir.
I was just making that comment because it sounded like he was being interrogated with, he said this and he didn't say that. So I just want to make it clear that Mike Taylor is presenting the information, and the reason why he's not answering because he doesn't want to come give you, my opinion, if he's putting words, if he gives a definitive answer, then at the next meeting, then we jump on him because he said 10 miles and it was only 9.4 miles. So I feel like that the way we approach this needs to be in that mindset.
All right. So I guess would your motion be do you want to see about taking action, either action or no action, after it's presented?
Also, I'll amend the motion to direct staff to present the data that we've discussed about the routes, ideal and non-ideal conditions of the bus and range at the next meeting.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay.
So
No action.
at this point, it's just directing staff to bring data and research to us at the next meeting.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
No?
Got that in the form of a motion and
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Springer seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
Aye.
All right. Well, I'm gonna break the tie with a yes, just for informational purposes.
Yes, sir.
We'll have this, I guess, either under what information or action, wherever everybody prefers it, we'll discuss that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, comments from board members. I will start with Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to wish all our staff and students Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah for our Jewish students. And just want to say thank you for everything that's being done in our classrooms, as you can see with the artwork, and also with the presentations where they come in and sing. We have a wonderful group of students, and I'm just so glad. And also our staff, I want them to leave our meetings feeling encouraged. And I would encourage all our board members, if you do know that there's something that you have a question for, so that people can make a great presentation for us, I would encourage that you would reach out by email, phone call, some type of way, so that our staff will be prepared for whatever might come their way. So that's my only statement.
All right, Mr. Springer.
I don't have anything.
All right, Ms. Burns.
First of all, I wanted to thank Mr. Smith for the past year of your leadership. It's been very appreciated, and you've done a great job, and I just wanted to say thank you. Secondly, I wanted to say that it was so good to see Pender High, Heidi Trask, and Pender Lee, and I hope I'm not leaving anyone out, attending the Burgaw Christmas Parade Saturday night. The Board of Education and PCS had a float in it. We had a great time out there, and I wanted to thank the town of Burgaw for all their efforts on that. And also, I would just like to say Merry Christmas to all of our PCS staff. Thank you for everything that you do every year, and it certainly is appreciated. That's all.
Mr. Cordero?
Just briefly say, as someone who served overseas during Christmas time, may the Lord please shield our service members, anyone that's engaged in armed conflict overseas during the Christmas season, especially those in Israel that are trying to defend themselves during the Hanukkah season. We ask that they have peace and joy, and just watch over them. That's all I have, sir.
All right. Now, the only comment I have is I want to thank Mr. Smith as well for his service this past year, and upcoming service as well for this year, along with everyone else. So, all right. Mr. McPherson.
Really quick, Board, want to add my thanks and appreciation to Mr. Smith for his service. Thank you for a good year. Congratulations to you, Mr. Hall, on your service, and Ms. Burns on vice chair. The last thing I'll say is there is been a Parents' Bill of Rights introduced at the federal level, which is something I will be monitoring along with many of my colleagues, because while that has passed a few House committees at this point, we do not know its fate in the Senate. We've heard sort of candidly that it probably won't pass, but that's something that is gaining momentum on a national grassroots sort of level. As you know, many states have passed a Parents' Bill of Rights, like the one that is passed in North Carolina. What the culmination of that may be ends up being a potential federal Parents' Bill of Rights, which, but outside of that, I wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and a wonderful New Year. But thank you so much.
All right, Dr. Breedlove.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I too want to jump in on the thanks to Mr. Smith for your service as board chair during much of my first year as a superintendent. So I apologize for any issues that I might have had in trying to learn the job as a superintendent, but you've been great, and congratulations, Mr. Hall, on your selection. Look forward to working with you as well, and Ms. Burns as we build agendas and do that sort of thing. Cannot believe that we are already a week away from winter break. First semester is coming to a close. I want to wish all students who are taking their final exams, because we do have some that are taking exams for their first semester. Wish them much success on their exams. December 20th, 2023 is a half day for students, and the holiday break will begin for traditional Pender County schools. Our holiday break lasts until January the 2nd for teachers, and the first day back for students will be on January the 8th. Mid-year graduation ceremonies will be held on Thursday, January 4th, 9 o'clock at Topsail High School, then at noon at Heidi Trask High School, and then 2 o'clock at Pender High School. And then we cap off the day at 4 o'clock at the Pender Early Innovative Learning Academy at the campus of Cape Fear Middle. January 9th, at 6 p.m. is our next regular board meeting. Just to end with some good news, Pender Education Partnership was presented earlier today by GAF with $5,000 to go to the Pender Education Partnership and the early college there. Grants continue to roll in across the district. We've received robotics grant and Bright Ideas grants. Burgall Middle School launched its holiday gift drive, and plenty of gifts coming in to support the students and families there, so want to give them a shout out. Also, Topsail Middle School's adaptive programs annual Merry Market Sale was a huge hit, if you've got a chance to see that. Big shout out to Kaya Medlin at Topsail High School, as a 9th grader who won the Keep Our Air Clean student art contest. If you have seen that, it's amazing, and congratulations to her. Rocky Point Elementary School and Malpas Corner Elementary School achieved Energy Star certification. And to end this, I will say I wish our board a happy holidays, and want to thank you for all of you do. And I also want to give a shout out to our teachers, our administrators, and our students. Been working very hard, very happy for the great work that they have done first semester. Looking forward to second semester, and hope everybody has a restful break. That ends my public comments. Thank you.
All right, do we have a motion to go into closed session?
Mr. Attorney will read the motion. I'm happy to say so moved. And while he's getting ready, Mr. Chair, I just wanted to clarify, because we approved the committee of the whole during the consent agenda, and Dr. Breedlove, if you could confirm, So from this moment forward, we're going to have another monthly meeting. This entire body will have another monthly meeting 2 weeks before the regular meeting. We're obviously
sir.
not doing that because I think it will fall the day after Christmas now. But I just wanted to confirm that, so that way everybody that's watching and everybody that's interested in attending those meetings understands what our new calendar, and also to request that if the calendar's not updated online, if we could update it online so members of the public are aware about when we will meet.
In the consent agenda, it was on December the 19th is when this committee of the whole
Okay, thank
will
you.
meet. Remember, we are combining all the committees into a committee of the whole, so that all members are present and able to hear all of the information. So for December the 19th, we will meet as a committee of the whole, and then, of course, in January, what I said.
Yeah, for some reason I missed that on the calendar, but thank you very much. I just wanted to make
know.
sure, because we did it in consent, that we didn't,
Yes, sir. Well,
that
thank you.
everybody's going to be here.
No, it's good. Thank you.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right, Mr. Chair, if you would, proposed motion, I move that the Pender County Board of Education enter into closed session, subject to advice from the attorney pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318, A1 and A6, to prevent the disclosure of confidential personnel information under General Statute 115C 319, and to consider matters related to personnel matters. The board will also enter closed session pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11A3 to consult with the board's attorney to preserve the attorney-client privilege, to consider confidential student matters as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318A1 and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20 USC 1232G and North Carolina General Statute 115C 402. That
So
is the
moved.
proposed motion. Thank you.
All right, have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Springer seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. All right, we were returning from closed session, so under the late action item here, number 15.1, Human Resource Report, do we have a motion for approval for it?
Motion to approve as read by staff.
All right,
Second the motion.
all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. 15.2 is consideration of Pender EMS and Fire land request.
I make a motion for the consideration of Pender EMS and Fire land request.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to, based on comments from some individuals about retribution, I'm going to recuse myself on this vote.
Okay?
There needs to be a second, Mr. Chair, and I want to clarify Mr. Smith's vote. Is the land request from EMS to make the offer of first refusal to the county commissioners?
Mr. Smith, you made the motion, right?
It was at the recommendation,
It is.
then so be it.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll second.
All right, Ms. Burns is second. Do we, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? All right, and one recusal. All right, motion carries. 15.3, Advisory Council nominations. We have a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve as
presented.
recommended.
All right, Mr. Cordero makes the motion. Do we have a second? Second. Mr. Springer makes a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'm sorry, I can't vote anymore
Whoops.
in this case. Do we have any opposed? I doubt it. Motion passes. All right, do we have a motion for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn.
We have a second. Second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?